And our Vice President will also be there. Yeah, we usually have a lot of those now in Nepal. From my side also. Okay. Welcome to Nepal. Officially welcome to Nepal. Mike, signs all that? Hello. Okay, good morning everybody. First of all, I think I should apologize because the information that we passed on to the press, I think you got it only this morning. Normally, we were thinking that perhaps this press meet would be sometime tomorrow. But then yesterday, when we had the PCR report for Dav, which was negative, we thought it was a good idea to get him out, get him to the ground, get him to see the competition and so on. So we decided that perhaps we'll start it this morning. So despite you all being informed in the early morning, thank you very much for being here. I would like to welcome all the press. I'd also like to welcome our board members. 3 of them are there. Our CEO. And then, of course, let me, on behalf of CAN, welcome Dav to this introduction press meet, I should say. Dav, we all know, was here a few days ago. We all knew about it. But as an official spokesperson, I said he's not there because he was in the isolation. So we said once the report for PCR is there, once he will be able to come out, then we will actually make him come out and meet you all. A lot of press friends, they have been pestering and they have been telling me, where is Dav? We need to talk to him, we need to see him. So today we have arranged this. To start with, I think we don't need any introduction for Dav. He is one of the well-known coaches that we see in cricket. We don't need to talk about what different countries he has worked with, what heights he has gained being a coach. So I think I'll not go into that. I'll only formally welcome you to Nepal. We are happy to have you here as our head coach. And with a coach with the experience of Dav's, the experience that the Dav has, the exposure that he has, and all the experience with working with so many of teams in the world, whether it be the test playing nations or the associate nations, we all believe that your tenure here will be one of the best and fruitful for Nepal cricket. And with the boys and the talent that you have already seen, we'll be able to excel to the new heights. Nepal cricket will definitely go into the greater heights. That's what we expect from them. Now, I would like to ask our president. I would like to ask our president to have welcome words to Dav. शब्द उहाँले देवलाई वेलकम गर्दै केही भनिदिनुहोस् भन्ने म अनुरोध गर्दछु.
थ्याङ्क यू अशोक सर, उपाध्यक्षज्यू, हाम्रो क्यानका बोर्ड सदस्य साथीहरू, हाम्रो नेपाल टिमको हेड कोच देव, वेलकम इन नेपाल क्रिकेट एसोसिएसन, जिएम अनि उपस्थित सबै पत्रकार साथीहरू. धेरै कुरा हाम्रो सचिवज्यूले राखिसक्नु भएको छ र दीर्घ प्रतीक्षापछि र एउटा रिजल्ट ओरिएन्टेड जुन चाहिँ उहाँ एउटा बिगिनिङ हो, उहाँलाई चाहिँ हामीले उहाँको पनि नेपालमा काम गर्ने इच्छा र नेपालको एउटा भावना पनि, क्रिकेट जगतको भावना पनि एउटा रिजल्ट ओरिएन्टेड र अलिकति सफल कोच नेपालमा जो हामीलाई चाहिँ आवश्यकता खड्किरहेको थियो, उहाँको उपस्थितिले निकै उहाँको कार्यकालमा उहाँको जति छ त्यसमा चाहिँ नेपालले एउटा अझै खड्को चाहिँ माथि क्रिकेटमा चाहिँ आउँछ भन्ने हामीले आशा गरेका छौँ. आई होप देवको चाहिँ कार्यकालमा चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ नेपाल क्रिकेटलाई अझै योभन्दा माथि उकास्न चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ प्रयास रहनेछ. हामीले उहाँले दिएको एउटा सल्लाह बमोजिम नेपाल क्रिकेटलाई चाहिँ माथि पुर्याउन नेपाल क्रिकेट सङ्घले चाहिँ एक किसिमको इन्भाइरोमेन्ट र अन्य प्रशासनिक कुरा र प्राविधिक कुराहरूमा पनि हामी चाहिँ सरसल्लाहले अगाडि बढ्नेछौँ. मैले अब धेरै कुरा राखेन, आशा गरौँ उहाँ 2-3 दिन अगाडि यहाँ आउनुभएको थियो. हामी यो कुरालाई चाहिँ उहाँको अनुरोधमा चाहिँ क्वारेन्टाइन बस्नुपर्ने भावनाले सार्वजनिकरण गरेका थिएनौँ र आज नै हामी त बेलुकासम्म भइराति नै आफ्टर म्याच चाहिँ यो एउटा इन्ट्रोडक्सन कार्यक्रम गर्ने भन्ने अशोक सर र मेरो सल्लाह थियो तर आज नै ग्राउन्डमा एकपल्ट जाने भन्दाखेरि ग्राउन्ड जानु पूर्व नै एउटा इन्ट्रोडक्सन यहाँहरूसँग नेपाली मिडियासँग खास गरेर स्पोर्ट्स र क्रिकेट मिडियाका साथीहरूलाई चाहिँ परिचय गराउने त्यो सर्ट टाइमको नोटिस भयो त्यसको लागि हामीले चाहिँ आज बिहान मात्रै खबर भएको हुनाले त्यसको लागि हामीले सरी भनिसकेका छौँ त्यही पनि अब यहाँहरूले पनि पोजिटिभली यो कुराहरूलाई चाहिँ क्रिकेट विकास र नेपाल क्रिकेटको आउँदा दिनहरूलाई पोजिटिभली है चाहिँ लिएर अलिकति सकारात्मक न्युज मात्रै अलिकति क्रिकेटलाई भनौँ न हाम्रो मनोबल बढ्ने किसिमले क्रिकेट बोर्डको मनोबल बढ्ने किसिमले चाहिँ आउने मैले चाहिँ नेपाल क्रिकेट सङ्घबाट मैले अपेक्षा गरेको छु मिडिया साथीहरूबाट धेरै अपेक्षा गरेको छु सहयोगको अपेक्षा गरेका छौँ यहाँ आउनुभयो धन्यवाद थ्याङ्क यू देव र क्रिकेट साथीहरू सबैलाई धन्यवाद
थ्याङ्क यू प्रेसिडेन्ट प्रेसिडेन्टले भनिहाल्नु मैले क्लाइन्ट जोडिहाल्छु देव जस्तो स्टेचरको कोच ल्याउन चाहिँ नेपाल क्रिकेट सङ्घलाई त्यति सहज थिएन यहाँहरूले पनि बुझ्नुभएकै कुरा हो हिजोको दिनसम्म हामीले जसरी जुन किसिमले कोचहरू यहाँ अभाइलेबल गराएर हामीले काम गरिरहेका थियौँ त्यसको तुलनामा अहिले अध्यक्षज्यूले भन्नुभएको जस्तो नेपालको क्रिकेटले अब एउटा छलाङ मार्ने बेला हो र भर्खर क्यान आएको छ त्यसैले सबभन्दा प्रमुखताका साथ हाम्रो प्राथमिकता भनेकै कसरी यो चिजलाई अगाडि लैजाने भनेको हुँदा हामीले मैले खालि यहाँहरूलाई बताउन खोजेको चाहिँ धेरै डिफिकल्टी र हामीले धेरै कुराहरू क्यानले चाहिँ गरेर हामी उहाँलाई चाहिँ यहाँ ल्याउन चाहिँ हामी सफल भएको छौँ त्यसैले आशा गरौँ उहाँको कार्यकालमा यहाँहरूको सहयोग खेलाडीहरूसँगको चाहिँ सहयोग सबैबाट चाहिँ नेपाली क्रिकेटलाई एउटा उचाइमा पुर्याउन सकिनेछ नाउ आई थिङ्क आई आस्क नाउ देव हिमसेल्फ prior to opening the floor for the questions he might speak out his mind what he thinks about Nepal. I think he visited Nepal earlier also once as a batting consultant if I'm correct but that was a short stint I believe. So I'll ask Dev to speak few words and then afterwards the floor will be open for the questions for the press. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, can I start off by saying a big thank you to the President, Secretary and the other board members of CAN for having the confidence in me to come to this team, to this country, and to apply my expertise in trying to improve the cricket here in Nepal. I'm very happy to be here, I'm very happy to accept the challenge, and I do so with both eyes open. Also to the press for coming along in such great numbers to support this, that is appreciated, and it just gives me another indication of the way in which this sport is regarded in the country. Nepal has got ODI status, and it's our express aim to ensure that we retain that and improve the rating or the ranking as we go along. So I don't want to talk for too long, but also to say that I'm looking forward very much to working with the boys here in Nepal, some of which I do know and quite a few I don't. But that won't take long once working with some of these guys to understand certain principles that will need to happen to ensure that we have a very healthy environment within the group for performance. So with all my knowledge that I've accumulated over the years will surely be shared with that express purpose, and that was to improve performance individually and from a team point of view. So it starts for me today, and the work will get more and more as we go along. And from time to time we look forward very much to working with you people as well to ensure that you're kept in the loop, you know what we're doing, and with a bit of luck we'll support each other. Okay, I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Welcome to Nepal. So what was the main motivation behind choosing Nepal as a next destination, having gone across the globe in cricketing world? What was the main motivation behind coming to Nepal?
Well, I tell you what, every job that I've had comes with a challenge, you know, and this also is no less a challenge. This is not an easy position. It is important for this country to be able to, to improve ranking. And regardless of a full member or associate member, the level of challenging is still there. So that always excites me. And that was a motivational factor in coming to Nepal.
So I want to take you back to the time in 1996 when you were the head coach of Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka back then was new to the cricketing world, and you guided them to the World Cup title. So right now we cannot. I think realistically we cannot dream of the World Cup title, but getting into the World Cup is a dream for Nepalese people. So how do you think is that a great challenge, or how do you think we can get there? What do you expect from the board to reach us to get to the dream?
Well, the board will be supporting every way they can humanly possibly do. But, reaching a World Cup, senior World Cup level is very difficult. A lot of countries are trying exactly what we're trying. So, it's as I said to you, it's a big challenge. But nevertheless, unless we dream, unless we really have aspirations to reach high levels, then it's never going to happen. But each day, one at a time, 1 week at a time, one game at a time. I know you've heard that before, but that's the way it has to be. And as long as the boys have a really good grasp of doing it for each other and working for each other, you've got a chance. I can't promise you'll win every game, but there's certain things when you do, you give yourself a better chance of getting the right result.
So last time you were here for a few days only. How did that affect on your decision to come back to Nepal right now?
Well, that wasn't the whole reason, but it's nice to reflect back and to know that you walk into a ground, you're not seeing it for the first time. You see some familiar faces, and that's also a good thing. So it was really good to have a little bit of experience over. It was more than a few days. I think it was a week or so. That was really enjoyable, and now I have a chance, on a full-time basis to work with the boys, and to get that enjoyment and to see some results at the end of it.
So how close have you been following Nepal after returning back from here, and have you been following the Nepal squad before you had an interest in this stuff?
Yeah, from time to time, for sure. And very recently, about nearly 12 months ago, you probably know, I had a small stint with Singapore in a T20 tournament on I think it was the eastern part of the Asia qualifiers, where we did well. And Nepal was also in that group, and our game, which was the last one, was washed out. So we didn't play each other, but we certainly was there for many hours in the day. It was good to reunite with some of the boys. But it really, it was good to see them. And I've forgotten the question.
So I want to ask, how close have you been following before the job?
Yeah, not from time to time. I wouldn't say I've looked at the papers or the internet every day. But certainly, when I knew I was working with Singapore and Nepal was part of the group, then there was a little bit of digging up in history to have a look. Certain matches that Nepal played and won makes you sit up and take notice, like everyone else. So I wouldn't say every week or whatever, but there were instances when there was interest where you just dig a little bit deeper and have a look.
So talking about the infield, Nepal right now is on the way for a huge transition inside the field, because a lot of experienced players, they are nearing the end of their careers. So how big of a challenge it is to balance this young and experienced players to bounce them up into a team?
Well, that's a challenge also will be made together with the selectors. You know, they have a brief, they have a job, a very important job to do as well. And when it comes to senior players and junior players, there's always good to have a mix of both. You know, to get rid of a lot of experience in one hit is not a good thing either. So we want players, regardless of the age, to be honest with you. If form is up, if form is good, you don't even worry about age, do you? So we need more than looking at how old they are to ensure that all the work is done and performances are there, so you don't have to worry about that.
As Mr. Packard mentioned, it was a great opportunity for Nepal to have you in this position. So you having worked around the world and your connections, so how can Nepal benefit from your portfolio?
Well, as I said before, that you accumulate a lot of knowledge as you go along, and I've had 25 years of it. And I'm very, very happy, more than happy to share everything in my head with the players for one express purpose, and that's to get better. As players get better, performances also, you know, get better. So that's what it is. You know, there are certain principles that work. I know what they are, and we're going to try and apply them to Nepal cricket.
So in Nepal, in recent times, the national camp is comprised of only 25 or 26 players. So how do you go about selecting the team for the next tour or next tournament?
That's a job for the selectors as well. I mean, I'm not a selector, but I'm sure they'll have a good relationship with them. And you know, it's a job that we do together. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure that the selectors also will be looking forward to ensuring that we get the best possible boys to do the job.
So Nepalese supporters, as you all know, are famous all around the world. So what are you expecting from the crowd, and when you have home match, how much do you think that affects in the team performance?
Well, I would assume that that's like your 12th man. I would assume that the noise and the crowd carry the team from time to time. So, you know, I've not witnessed it here before, but I've heard about it. And I know that there is a big interest in the country. And for home matches, you know, no doubt there'll be a lot of people supporting. And also I've seen evidence when Nepal's played away on television. And, you know, there's ample evidence there's a lot of Nepalese around the world who come and support them as well. So, you know, support is there, particularly at home, when that can really help you.
अरू पनि कसैको क्वेसन छ भने म काट्नु है
It's me personally from the Kathmandu Post. So you are given only 1 year contract. So what do you think are your immediate challenges and your immediate plans? Thank you.
Well, the immediate job is to prepare a group of boys together with the selectors that we come up with, a group of guys that is able to win games. Our focus is to look a little bit further down the track to ensure that you know, the rankings can be improved if it's possible to do that. So you know, we'll need a little bit of time, but our immediate goal, of course, is the set of games in Oman, which will be coming up, you know, fairly quickly. So we're well aware of that. But this answer may be the same as before, but it's the way it is. That's what we need to do.
Still not fully reinstated from suspension. Will it make some difficulties to your plan for committees or not? That's what
Nepal can is still not fully reinstated. It's conditionally reinstated. So do you think it will affect?
No. CAN has a duly elected cricket board, and they're back in the fold. It functions like every other country. I'm I'm sure the players will be happy that it's happened. ICC have welcomed Nepal back, and no, that shouldn't be a problem.
हजुर आज उहाँलाई हो प्रश्न अब गरिहाल्नुभयो भने हजुर प्लिज
हामीले उहाँसँग छलफल गर्ने क्रममा नै यो धेरै कुराहरू छलफल गरेका छौँ। हामीले अघि तपाईँले सोध्नुभएको प्रश्नहरू पनि हाम्रो फोकस कहाँ हो, प्रायोरिटी कहाँ हो, हामी लङ टर्म कसरी हेरिरहेको छौँ, सर्ट टर्म कसरी हेरिरहेको छौँ भन्ने चिज उहाँ आउनु अगाडि नै पनि धेरै चरणमा हामीले उहाँसँग अनौपचारिक रूपमा छलफल गरेका छौँ। र यो सबै कुरा चाहिँ तपाईँले भनेको जस्तो अब जब उहाँले औपचारिक रूपमा नै यो पद लिनुहुन्छ, उहाँले सुरु गर्नुहुन्छ, त्यो भएपछि एउटा वर्क प्लानसहित हामी कसरी अगाडि बढ्छौँ भन्ने चिज उहाँले प्रस्तुत गर्नुहुन्छ। हामी त्यो छलफल चाहिँ धेरै गरिसकेका हुँदा त्यसैमा आधारित रहेर नेपालको क्रिकेट अगाडि जाने भन्ने चिज हाम्रो छलफल भएको छ। अहिले मैले भने अहिले बेसिकली तिनवटा कुरा हो उहाँसँग गरिरहेको। तिनवटा कुरा भनेको इमिडिएट अहिले भनेको हामीलाई चाहिने हाम्रो ओडिआई स्टेटस अहिले जुन सिडब्लुसीको हाम्रो कुरा छ त्यसमा हामी ऱ्याङ्किङ अपडेट गर्नु पऱ्यो। त्यसलाई जतिसक्यो हामीले बेटर पर्फर्म गर्न सक्यो। हाम्रो पहिलो कुरो त्यही हो, सबभन्दा राम्रो कुरो र प्रमुख अहिले हाम्रो फोकसको कुरो भनेको त्यो हो। दोस्रो, हाम्रो ग्रासरुटदेखि नै हामीले नेपालको क्रिकेटलाई कुन स्ट्रक्चरमा कसरी ल्याउँदा के गरेर यसलाई बढी चलायमान गर्न सक्छौँ, राम्रो गर्न सक्छौँ, दोस्रो कुरो त्यसमा उहाँले फोकस गरिदिनुहुन्छ। र तेस्रो कुरो अन्डर 19 र वुमेन्ससम्मलाई पनि एउटा कन्सल्टेन्टको रूपमा उहाँले सरसल्लाह र सुझाव दिएर नेपालको क्रिकेटका स्ट्रक्चरदेखि सबैमा के गर्दा उचित हुन्छ भन्ने एउटा सल्लाहको रूपमा पनि उहाँले हामीलाई क्यानलाई सल्लाह दिनुहुन्छ। यही 3-4वटा कुरा अहिले प्रमुख कुराहरू। अब त्यो आवश्यकता हेरेर छलफल गरिने कुरा छ। अहिलेलाई हामीसँग हिजोको दिनमा पनि धेरै सपोर्ट स्टाफहरू टिमसँग त हुनुहुन्थ्यो नै, जस्तै अहिले ट्रेनरै पनि हुनुहुन्छ, भिडियो एनालिस्ट हुनु होला। भोलि उहाँसँगको छलफलपछि आवश्यकताले अरू कोही सपोर्ट स्टाफ ल्याउनु पर्ने कुरा भने त्यसको लागि क्याम्प ओपन छ।